Yo, this is Jay Brooks, and right now you're listening to the Lengthy Lads podcast, featuring Annoying Mouse, the average EAFC player, Bertie, aka the Gaffer, and Azza Gaming. So sit back, make a cup, and enjoy this episode of the Lengthy Lads. Bosh!
Yes, let's get lengthy. Welcome to another episode of the Lengthy Lads podcast, your podcast all about FC24 with me, the average FC player, Annoying Mouse, and Azza Gaming. This week's podcast is going to be slightly less lengthy, ladies and gentlemen. We're a man down as the Gaffer has decided to call it a day for a while with FC24. Therefore, he's not going to be on the podcast. But also because we're going to go for a shorter episode today, which we will explain a little bit later on. As always, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here with you both. Mouse, some cracking work, mate, on our brand new graphics. I don't know if they've been released onto Twitter yet, but they are absolutely unbelievable. So if you haven't seen them, go and check them out. Same question as always. How are you doing and how was your weekend?
Well, firstly, thank you for that. I think the new colour scheme suits Az's massive penis very, very well. So that's what it's in aid of. It was all right, champs. I went 11-3. Tried out Div 10's new tactic, which is coming out, I think, tomorrow. Should be out by now, actually. Which is actually really good. Was a lot of fun to play with. But I don't know. I've just kind of lost a little bit of heart with it, to be honest. At the moment, I'm in a bit of a weird place with it. I think it doesn't help. Like today, I've tried to stay off Twitter as much as possible today because it's just a minefield going on there. Yes, there's a lot of people on there that I like talking to, and it's like a minefield at the moment. Like you get into the wrong loop, and it's just negative, and I just don't want to see it. So, it's putting a bit of a downer on the game, which I don't really want. So, yeah. Thought weekend league was absolutely fine as usual. It played fine. I've done everything this week. But, yeah, after looking on Sunday night and stuff like that, it's just, it kind of takes a gloss off everything, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think obviously with Shane leaving as well, it's made a little bit of an impact. It's had an impact on us. So, the pod's still going to be around. We're just in that little flat place at the moment without Shane, with the game being a little bit negative. But obviously we'll chat about that a little bit later on. Az, what's going on, son? How was your champs? How are you doing? I feel like you and I had the same experience yesterday, so enlighten us.
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. My back pain has finally left me, so I'm back in the gym and back being more active and off this game, which is always a plus. But yeah, my weekend league wasn't the best. It wasn't that I was doing bad. I was winning. I think I was 6-1. Then I went to like 8-2, but I found it really hard to play. Again, I mentioned a pod or two ago that I always seem to get into this thing every year around the ball team of the year where I feel like I can't do anything in the game right. Everything feels really slow, delayed, and muggy, and whatnot. And I don't know whether that's just the cards balancing themselves out for the next couple of weeks past team of the year or whatnot. But I've said for a long time I actually hate this version of the game, and I think it's one of the worst pieces I've ever played. But I really felt it in the last weekend league, which was a bit of a shame. Got my 11, and then I just thought, I'm out. I think it was 11-3 or 11-4 maybe. Rewards, couldn't tell you what they were, so they were not worth mentioning. Just your bog standard bottom barrel rewards. But yeah, I got really, really frustrated with the game. I think I was getting to that point anyway, and that's what made me start the whole Torres thing. And I think that was such a buzz, and it's slightly faded because I've got the better Torres now, and I actually feel like that is probably a worse Torres. So maybe because I had built up this big climax for him, and then he kind of gave me blue balls and I just pre-ejaculated. It kind of did ruin the buzz a bit for me. But yeah, I think it's hard not to feel that way at the moment because of Twitter, because of our For You pages and our timelines. It does seem to be a lot of negativity floating around the game. And, justified negativity as well, but probably the first time. Normally when it's negative on FIFA, it's quite selfish negativity. But I think the community in general really seem to have just flipped the switch lately. All for the right reasons, FIFA points, rubbish gameplay, blah blah blah, fixing the wrong things, making the game worse, etc., etc. So yeah, a bit of a minefield, like Mouse said, I think, in the old social space for FC24.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more people, even since Shane saying he's stepping back. Like
Yeah,
Lazy decided he's got like a big following. He's done so well. He's a good creator, and unfortunately, he's decided to call it a day and stuff like that. And that's a really real like tough thing to see. And you can
yeah,
actually, when you read people's like posts, you can actually feel it, can't you? You can actually feel their
Yeah.
pain. You understand why everyone's going to be. People are thinking like, why the fuck are you feeling like this? It's a game. And I was trying to explain it to my missus and stuff, and she was just like, it's a fucking game, Ryan. What are you on about? You're like. It is, yeah, you're right, and that's the way that we should treat it. But actually, it's kind of not.
it's more
It's
than a
kind of
game to
not.
people like us. You know what
Yeah,
I
because
mean?
we're
Yeah.
sad as fuck, and we
We
spend all
make
our time on
content
it.
for it, like
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's actually a little bit. It's not a little bit of a shame. It's a big shame.
Mm.
I wanted to talk Future Stars Team 2, boys, before we go on to anything else. I've actually really, really, really enjoyed the menu grind. I love player picks. They make a massive difference to me. They make a massive difference to the game in general and the grind, especially when you're popping Future Stars icons like Tic Tacs, like mine, just flying out of my
I
packs,
wish I
my
was.
picks, left, right, and centre. Um, still haven't got David Beckham. That's the one I wanted. Still haven't got fucking Crescencio Somerville, which I just cannot believe. Everybody else seems to have got him. Is team of the week, and just because I'm the one that wants him, cannot find him for love nor money. Ain't got a clue. So by tomorrow, I'm going to have nothing in my club because I'm going to have to grind those 81 picks to get him. I've been using fun teams like full Future Stars teams in the cup and things like that, and I've been enjoying it. Apart from goalkeepers, because apparently there's no promising goalkeepers in the world according to EA Sports.
Absolute joke.
Nah.
So yeah, like I said, that's been fun. But apart from my champs experience on Sunday was great. I went 7-3, was playing decent, and then I came in last night and I was 8-7 at one point. I just completely lost the plot. I got to my 11 after getting to 8-7, and we stopped, and I got crap rewards. Got 83s in my ultimate pack and my rare players pack and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like the patch has made it slightly clunky, and I don't,
Yeah.
I don't usually talk about gameplay in that sense because I'm not good enough to notice it usually. But my word, I felt like my players were just not doing anything I wanted them to do. But also, I just felt like it was really slow. Like I was using Kelly Smith, and Kelly Smith, to be honest, I was quite excited to use, but she was absolutely shit. Shevchenko, I was using like I think pre-patch or a few days previously. It was firing goals in for me, and then absolutely nothing in champs. Eusebio didn't feel right. Didn't feel like my left stick was right and things like that, and that was frustrating. But what about your guys' experiences of Future Stars? How do you feel about the menus? How do you feel about the stuff that we're getting? Let's start with you.
Mine's been quite distanced, I think. I've only packed 3, maybe 4 Future Stars, and they all came from Team 1. I don't think I've packed a single one from Team 2 just yet. But that's probably more down to me not being on the game and not, grinding the upgrade packs as much as I was sort of in Team 1. Because obviously Steven Gerrard was in it and I really wanted him. So
Yeah,
there hasn't really been anything in Team 2. I was hoping for like a Jarrell Quansah or maybe even uh,
Bradley or something like that.
I was going to say Bobby Clark then, but I meant to say Bradley. Yeah,
Yeah.
hoping for a Bradley, but yeah, when there's no players that really fuss me, then I kind of do switch off a little bit because that's when I start thinking, why am I playing this? And I do agree with you. I do feel like it feels clunky lately. I've got a 15 million coin player, and first of all, I don't think anyone's worth 15 million coins, but he's playing probably the worst out of the whole team in terms of movements because it feels so clunky. I can't deal with clunky gameplay. That's what really, really frustrates me.
Yeah.
And that's why, I like players like Vinny Jr. are so broken that it doesn't really impact them as much. But I do feel like haven't really been involved as much with Team 2 and the SBCs they're putting out. I only just noticed about the 82 times 20s when I was doing the 81 plus pick just then on the pod. So, yeah, I've been distanced. That's how I would summarize my Team 2 experience.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely resonate with that because I was a ratty bastard and put Team of the Year Mbappe loan in my team to finish off champs.
I used Bellingham.
I played him for 3 games and he was trash. And I was just like, this is Team of the Year Mbappe. This guy should be absolutely blitzing past defenders and he's getting bodied by fucking like Lucio's base hero card or whatever. And I'm just there like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not this shit at the game. I'm completely average. Yes, I know, but it's just not right. It didn't seem right. On the subject of Vinny Jr. and Mbappe, oh my God, Real Madrid, by the way, when they get Mbappe next year, Bellingham, Vinny,
wasn't it?
Mbappe.
Imagine how much their cards are going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow? Next year.
Bloody next year. Mate, honestly, going to be ridiculous.
I'll be on the PC market.
Mouse, how about you?
As well.
Yeah. Mouse, how about you, mate?
I've packed a few, nothing really of any note. Evos have been pretty good, I think, for that. But like I said, for there not to be a keeper in this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I really don't
get it. You
Something
know,
broke with them. I'm telling you.
A couple of years ago, I got the Real Madrid keeper. I can't remember what his bloody name is, but he was a future star.
Lunin.
I remember getting him, but
yeah, he was class.
Yeah, but this year, why have we not got one? Like,
yeah,
not even. The thing is, there's clearly something up. It just comes down to, again, there's no communication, but there's clearly an issue with EA and Evos for goalkeepers because we've not had a single Evo goalkeeper still.
Yeah.
Right, at all of any description. And I think there's obviously, there's always this thing with is it reactions, isn't it, with keepers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't deal with it. They clearly can't adjust it. So I'm presuming there's something wrong.
Been broken for years.
Somewhere, yeah, that they just can't control it. That's why we've not had the Evo. I can't think of any other reason why we haven't had it because we've had so many, but to not have a goalkeeper, because there is people like us out there that wanted to play a full team, and I probably would have played a full team, but all I did was just take out, I've got 4 or 5 players, I think, in total, and put these future stars in, just to be honest, mainly to prove a point to people that you don't have to use the best cards. I've got team of the year Messi, I've got team of the week Mbappe, didn't use either of them at all, weren't even in the squad. And I still got to 11-3, and I'm not the greatest player in the world. So, just to prove a point to people that everyone worries so much about using these top end cards, and just stop worrying. You're still going to get to the same kind of result every single week, regardless, unless you're using bronzes and stuff. But yeah, just stop worrying.
Yeah, I think I tried to take a leaf out of your book and not do the old worrying situation, but when I'd got to 11-7 from 7-3, I started to fucking panic, which is why I put Mbappe in the team.
Yeah.
But with regard to Evos, just one thing I want to raise very, very quickly.
Yeah.
They've brought out these Future Stars Evos, 82 rated players given to us for free. Love that. Fantastic. Free Evos. Brilliant. Then they bring out a paid Evo.
Yeah.
Where they give them a slight upgrade, which actually probably isn't going to make that much of a difference to them as a player whatsoever. Why the fuck would you bring out good content and then ruin the good content by making it 75,000 coins or 100,000 coins to Evo them by a +2 with a couple of better stats?
Especially when you have to pack it and basically pay for a pack it, and then pay to Evo it. And it's like, what's going on here?
It's ridiculous.
It makes no sense. Why not just put them in packs?
Yeah.
Why would you make it a paid Evo? That's not helping us as a community. Just put the decent, juiced up players in packs. If you want a 90 rated Okafor, stick him in packs because your people will buy more of them.
But also that card's absolutely mental. That 90 rated card.
Ridiculous.
It hurts me every time I play against it.
So, just again, can you hire me, please, EA? Because I guarantee I'll do a better job than some of the people that you are.
I'd love it.
I'd love them to hire me. I'd probably be sacked within a week, but I would love them to hire me.
What, for being too nice to the community?
I'll probably have some cunt in a headlock within a week, definitely.
Gets Jamie Foot economist in a headlock.
Yeah.
What have you sell out? What have you done to this?
There'll be a couple of keyboards wrapped around some heads, that's for sure.
A couple of interns down the elevator shaft, that kind of shit.
Right, moving on to the part of the pod where the boys play with my bits. We are gonna insert the Shane moan. we are gonna predict some real life football scores. But before we do, we're gonna go over the results from last week real quick, and just get them sort of out of the way. Scores wise, it wasn't really high scoring. We had 2 correct results, and one of them was from me again. That's 3 weeks in a row. And it was again on a Leeds game, and the other one was Ryan. We both predicted 2-0 Leeds. For the first time, we did have a game where no one got a point in, which was Spurs v Wolves, as nobody got anything right there. But Mouse managed to get a respectable 3 points.
Would you like to say one of my results? What was one of my results?
Oh, you did predict City and Chelsea to draw. You did predict them to draw 2-2, to be fair, but you did predict them to draw, which gave you 3 points. So you weren't lowest of the week, as Shane came in with 2 points, and that was from Liverpool and Leeds winning their games. And then I think I said it just said me and Ryan both got 5 points, which means no one moves up or down in the league. Mouse is on 37, Shane's on 41, I'm on 48, and Ryan is on 49. But this one is a bit of a special one. So it's our first bonus episode. And what I mean by bonus episode is we do have a cup final this week. Unfortunately, the most pointless cup final that you'll ever watch. It is the Carling Cup final, or whatever they're calling it.
The Carling Cup.
So,
I love it.
Coca-Cola Cup.
I still call it the Carling Cup, honestly, or whatever you want to call it these days.
Yeah.
Carabao, Caramel Cup, whatever it's bloody called.
Caramel Cup.
And what we're going to do with that is we're going to add it onto the already existing 5, but we're also going to put up another bonus point by predicting what minute we think the first goal will come in that game separately as well. So it's a chance to win 2 bonus points. I do have Shane's votes. He's going to carry on playing with my bits throughout the remainder of the season, fortunately. So I'll start with him because I do have his minute for the games, obviously. So it'd be a bit awkward if I started with someone else and they picked his minute. So the games we have gone for as well, by the way, guys, so you can quickly think about them in your head, is Brighton at home v Everton, Villa at home v Forest, Arsenal at home v Newcastle, Wolverhampton against Sheffield, Leeds against Leicester, and then the bonus game, of course, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Wembley. So Shane has predicted a cheeky little Brighton 3-1 victory, Villa to beat Forest 3-1, Arsenal to beat Newcastle 2-1, Wolves to win 3-0, Leeds and Leicester 1-1, Liverpool to win 2-1, and his bonus minute in both games is the 8th minute. I think he's gone brave there with a Stevie G 8. And what is annoying is I had 8 written down before I even asked him. So yeah, I'm letting you have that one, Shane, and I'm going to change my ones. And then I'll simply go from left to right. So it'll go Mouse, Ryan, and then myself. So Mouse, if I could get your scores for Brighton versus Everton.
2-0 Brighton.
Villa v Forest.
3-1 Villa.
And then the big one, Arsenal versus Newcastle.
1-1.
You think that's going to be a juicy game? And Wolves versus Sheffield.
2-0 Wolves.
Ooh, and then the top of the league clash, Ryan versus Shane, Leeds v Leicester.
3-0 Leicester.
Ooh. Who saw that coming? And then, if I could trouble you for your bonus minute in those 5 games there.
7.
And then a score prediction and a minute prediction for the Liverpool v Chelsea game. We are going to do it the same way the bookmakers would, within 90 minutes. So, it might end 2-1 after extra time, but whatever it ended after 90 minutes is the result we'll go for, purely for the points scoring system.
Okay. 9th minute.
Mm-hmm.
And 4-0.
4-0. Liverpool, yeah. I assume?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We're not having another 0-0. Can't deal with it.
If any of those predictions come true, I hope it's the Liverpool one. That's for sure. And now we'll move on over to the one we should avoid walking down an alleyway. Ryan, right, Brighton versus Everton.
2-0 Brighton.
Villa versus Forest.
1-0 Villa.
Arsenal versus Newcastle.
3-1 Arsenal. They're in decent form.
Wolves versus Sheffield.
2-0 Wolves.
Ooh. And then Leeds versus Leicester.
I'm going to back the boys. 1-0.
1-0. And the lucky number?
6.
Nice. And then with the bonus one, if we can get your score prediction for the cup final and what minute you think the goal will come in for an extra bonus point.
I'm going to go 0-0.
Yeah.
And the game is going to get its first goal in extra time in the 97th minute.
Hey, that's an interesting strategy. But yeah, okay. We'll take that.
It doesn't go straight to pens, does it? Not
No,
one of
it
them
doesn't.
shitty ones.
You'll be extra.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't go
that's
straight
what I'll
to
go
pens.
for.
That's interesting. I mean, they've all gone to pens the last couple of finals against Chelsea. In fact, is an interesting stat. 7 of Liverpool's last finals have come against either Chelsea or Real Madrid. Only two teams. 6 of the
Really?
last 7, sorry, yeah. The other one was Spurs in the Champions League final.
Jeez.
I've seen that on Twitter, though, so it could be fake. But it was quite an interesting stat.
I think it's probably right.
Yeah. Feels right.
Maybe that is quite
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be interesting, to be honest, but it is. So,
More
well
than
done.
just a pretty face.
Congratulations.
My scores, I'm going to go Brighton to beat Everton 3-1. Villa to beat Forest 2-0. And I wanted to say 4-4 for Arsenal versus Newcastle, but I'm gone 3-3. I think there'll be some goals there. And Wolves to beat Sheffield 2-0. Leeds to edge it against Leicester 1-0. Yeah, they've never let me down, Leeds, in this, to be fair, with 1-0.
Hey, we beat them last time out.
And I'm going to go for the 11th minute across those games. And for the final, I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool, because I'd be an idiot not to back my boys. And I'm going to go for the 23rd minute. So,
As a 23 gaming.
yeah, exactly. My lucky number. And it also gives me a lot of minutes to win that bonus point, to be fair.
Yeah,
So,
fair. That's actually
strategically
fair.
thinking, Shane's gone 8th. Mouse, I can't remember what he went for that game, but I think yours is quite early on as well. So, yeah, I've got a lot of minutes to try and bag a point there and hopefully finally get that 1 point I need to catch up to you, bastard. But that concludes it for Az's Bits today. Hopefully I'll be top of the table next episode.
So, as you guys may have noticed, Az's Bits came slightly prematurely today, as we're only about 25 minutes into the podcast. And we're going to go for a slightly shorter episode, as I spoke about earlier. And if we're completely honest, as Mouse said, we're finding it pretty difficult to get back into the game after Team of the Year. And it's a bit of a bummer because we've all grinded really, really hard for the teams that we've got, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And actually, sometimes it's good to have a slight break from this game. Last year, Mouse had a little bit of a break, came back absolutely buzzing, as has his little post-Team of the Year lull usually, and again, came back with a bit more energy and a bit more invigorated. We don't want to put out crappy content. As a group of mates that are in the FC community, we don't want to put out shit content for you lot. We want it to be good and we want it to be interesting, but we also don't want it to be ridiculously negative all the time. And we feel like the last couple of podcasts we've been pretty negative, and that's not the kind of portrayal that we want. It's actually pretty draining, I think, being so negative all the time, and we want to be as positive as possible. I am also away with work for the next 2 weeks, so we're actually going to have a slight sabbatical over the next couple of weeks. We're going to recharge, we're going to re-energize with the next promo, and hopefully we're going to come back with a bang. Also, hopefully, Shane will be back by then too. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Okay, so that would then make it even better. Please don't think at all that this is the end of any sort of podcast. It's literally going to be a couple of weeks in order to kind of deal with our work commitments, get ourselves sorted, and then we're going to come back. Also, we've got a couple of irons in the fire that we want to make sure that we are ironing out before we throw anything out there. So, thank you very much for listening. Boys, have you got anything else to add to that?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you said, really, to be honest, that, yeah, we don't want to push out content just literally just for the sake of it. You know, we're not here to clickbait anyone. And, you know, to say that this is the end when it's not, it's definitely not the end. But we're just going to take a slight break, get recharged. And, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I haven't made things like player reviews and things like that, because I'm just not in the right headspace to do it. And it's, you know, that's going to show in any work I do. Az has had the same, where he hasn't wanted to do videos as well. You know, we're not, like
prick.
I said, we're not here to put out nonsense content and things like that. So it's as simple as that. You know, you may hate us for it, but if you want us to come back and talk football or something like that in the meantime, maybe we could do something like that. Or, you know, if you guys got any ideas, anything like that, you know, you can always talk to us on Twitter and fire your ideas at us, because we're more than welcome to listen to you and go with whatever.
Pep Guardiola is a bald fraud. Yeah, just echo Mouse there. You know, obviously Ryan's away for 2 weeks with work. I actually wouldn't be able to make next week anyway, so it's just one of them. It'll probably be pretty good. The nice little sabbatical, get the energy levels back, and get the juices flowing. Then when we do come back, 2 weeks break never does anyone any harm, does it? So it'll be nice.
Ready for team of the season. Bit later on, we'll get ourselves sorted, ready for team of the season, which will probably be in fucking end of April or whenever it is. But that's what we want. We want to make sure we're putting out decent content, as we said. As you guys will probably know, because we're only a little podcast, we don't get any fucking money for this. We do this because we absolutely love it. So we don't want to do something that we aren't actually enjoying in that sense. But as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for all the support. And we will see you in, hopefully, a couple of weeks' time. Stay lengthy.
Swoosh. It's fucking annoying!